Hello guys, welcome back to AWS DevOps project of 2022. Now, when you can connect to the machine, as previously I showed you, how do you connect to the machine using the PEM file and using SSH tool. Now, after connecting to the Ubuntu machine, which is in the AWS, which is an Elastic Compute instance, which is running in AWS, we will use a tool that is used for continuous integration and continuous deployment, and that tool is called Jenkins. So before installing Jenkins, what is the least possibility of memory, or how do you minimize your installation steps so for that particular application to come? So Jenkins basically needs Java, okay, and little extra dependencies like that. Okay, so for now this is a free tier account and we don't have so much of memory, right? So I'll be using containerized images so that no installation dependency is required in that particular application. So first let me check if Docker is installed in this machine. So to check, you can write at least 1 second. You can write Docker, it'll say Docker not found. You can say Docker PS. No, Docker is not installed. So what do you do to install Docker in Ubuntu? Right? So I'll be telling you today what is the first step for Docker. So you have to go back to your any Google Chrome and you can say Docker installation for Ubuntu. Okay. Now install Docker engine. So first comes for the Docker documentation where all the configuration settings have been given. Please follow the Docker documentation. So OS requirements is this. So as we know, we had seen the OS requirement from Amazon. What kind of instance it is? It is an Ubuntu instance of T2 micro with 64-bit, right? So set up a repository. So these are the first steps. Let's follow them. Sudo apt-get update so that the particular machine is up to date with latest configurations. So as you can see, it is taking time. It might take time. Okay, it's completing it. 99%. Okay, done. So the update is done. Let's go back again. Okay. Now we don't want a particular repository over HTTPS. So what we will do is, instead of using wget, so wget is like to install all the tar files and all the files which are given over a url. What we can do, we can install couple of certificates which will be overwritten in the etc files so that the docker is stable and up and running as a tool in our system. So yes, I want all these dependencies for docker. So done. Let me clear it. Yeah. Now, if you are a Linux user and you want to know what is your machine's capability to install uh, installables, what you have to do, you have to check your OS release. So your OS release is always saved in /etc and OS hyphen release. So you can do cat /etc /OS hyphen release, and you can see your machine name is Ubuntu 2020 22.04 LTS, and it is a type of the latest Ubuntu machine, and name is Ubuntu, version ID is 22.04. Okay, it is a type of Debian operating system for the kernel, and these are your machine information. Okay, the OS information. Now, after installing the Docker certificates, let's do the add Docker's official GPG key. Okay, so these are the thing. Let's do one by one. Copy, paste. You have made a directory. Now let's install the GPG keys in that particular directory. Done. Very great. Now let's override the list files for Docker. Okay, yes. Okay, done. Now the last step is you have to update your system and install the Docker Compose plugin. Great, it's done. Very simple. Let's do it. The last step. Yes, we want all these things. You want to install Docker C, Docker C CLI, container.io, and Docker Compose plugin. It'll take some time. Great. All the installable is done. Let's check if Docker is installed. So I'll say Docker space version. Great, Docker is installed. If I write Docker, so great, Docker is giving all these commands with help. Let's say where is Docker. So Docker is placed in this particular file system. Now, if I want to say manual of Docker, I can get what is the particular thing. I should go line by line. These are the particular commands can be used by Docker commands. Let me exit it. Let's see, Docker PS. So now, now it says that to to know what are your containers or what are the images. If I say Docker images, to know what are the images, it's telling me an error that permission denied. So Docker isn't part of your user group. Now you have installed Docker as a root user group. So it will only make sure that your root has the privileges to check all these things. So if I do sudo docker ps, so it won't give me an error. Okay. Sudo docker images. So no error, right? So how do we remove this error? We either give the Docker in the user group or this particular user group or use sudo command. Okay. Thanks for the video. And in this video, to summarize, we have installed the Docker. In the next video, I will show you how do you install Jenkins using the Docker tool. Thank you. Stay tuned.